For those of you who don't know me and you're seeing this for the first time, I am Pamela Aaralyn. I'm a mystic who is a clear conduit channel and trance channel. I also teach. I've been channeling angels and other beings of cosmic consciousness since age 5. And at some point in time, I started to bring this public to you because I wanted to share these beautiful messages, and I had great hopes that they would shift consciousness much in the way that my own consciousness was shifted. It's been a beautiful experience for me and continues to this very day. So on this day, Archangel Metatron had some messages about some astrological energetic shifts and just energetic updates, astrological updates, and world consciousness updates. This is in relation to the great shift we are currently going through together as a human conscious collective. We're going through this together, absolutely unavoidable for any single one of us because we are a human species and a family. So if you want to go deeper into his channeling in a very, very profound and specific way, please don't hesitate to join the more intense public channeling that I will be having of him on August the 22nd. I believe that's a Monday coming up. It's going to be at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. And you can join it live, or you can see the replay thereafter at patreon.com/Pamela Aaralyn. That's pinned at the top of the chat for you. So it'll be all tier levels, everything like that. This channeling is only $13. And with that tier 1 level, you'll also be able to see anything else that I'm doing over there that is not publicly posted anywhere else. So this is hundreds and hundreds of this huge library of my work, of classes, sound healings, channelings, spiritual development, Q&As, and whatnot. Okay. I wanted to give a little bit of an energy update and astrological update from him for August. What he told me is that we are still experiencing Lionsgate type of energy because we're still like right there at the peak, and we will be for quite some time because of many things, not just because it'll be slowly closing that Lionsgate portal until August the 14th, around that time, but quantum leaps and manifestation are still very much in the forefront of our lives right now. Super powerful things breaking and things healing. Things, doors opening and doors closing, portals of opportunity energetically, financially, but more so than that, and at a deeper level, fundamental changes that have to do with what we're learning that we're about, what our purpose is, and how we fit into life. Not exactly just what our life is about, but where we fit into life, where we weave ourselves into the fabric of consciousness in humanity, in the world. Where are we needed in the world right now? That's going to be foremost on our minds as we head into the super full moon on August the 11th. So August the 11th, you know me, I don't typically talk about full moons, new moons, things of that nature, but because we're also in this great shift, anytime we have an energy update, that's going to affect consciousness at large, not just individuals who channel and who heal and who have spiritual abilities, but people who are awakening at all levels. No matter where you are, it's affecting you, and none of us are unaffected by the shift that we are going through as a collective. So that super full moon coming up in August, Metatron states, is going to be really powerful because it combines right at a timing astrologically where we have one more chance. It's the last full moon of the entire year. So we have one more chance to release anchors and blocks in our belief systems and fears. So that as we're manifesting, we don't just like manifest a duplicate or replica of those blocks and anchors as we, as doors are shutting, where it's like we're carrying the pain and the blocks on through, right? But with the super full moon on August the 11th, if you pay attention with that coming up, with all this super speedy, lightning fast, speed of light energy that's going on right now that has us all super amplified, by August the 11th, you'll hit a crash. But the crash will be a release, a purification, a time to breathe, a time to rest, not your standard, okay, real manic energy and then burnout at the end type of crash, he says. So this is a time to rest. And if you don't like it, the energy will put you on your butt, right? Will literally just lay you flat until you start to face some emotions that you can't take with you. You know, coming up, he's a very astrological angel. I'm not an astrologist, but he tells me about all these things. And coming up on the 1111 portal for 2023, this is going to be the biggest time that culminates the great shift. There are a lot of old institutional structures that are collapsing. This is a very precious time, he's saying. Okay, so when I tap into him, he says this is a precious time for many reasons. It holds such great personal power and relevance. And as we're determining who we are and how we are being woven into, he's showing me like a sweater and a loom, and putting a sweater on a loom, and all of these multicolored, beautiful threads of cloth are being woven together, right? And you may feel like just one, but when you meet a whole soul family with that same sparkling color, you hold a pattern together as family in that sweater. And if humanity is a sweater being woven on the loom of consciousness, that means that something is shifting. We are clothing ourselves anew, he says. And those colors, like when I look at it, it's like Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat. Have you ever seen that musical? It is sometimes colors that I can't explain to you because my brain can't comprehend them. I can only comprehend them when I'm out of form or in the astral world during that sort of spirit travel. So this is new. We have a new consciousness. And he doesn't want you to be afraid, because even though you've never seen the color before, you've never played certain roles that you will now be playing after this super full moon, your roles as humans shift. Your roles in your relationships begin to shift a lot, he says. You'll begin to decide you do or don't like your roles in your marriages and in your jobs and in your societal systems, he says. That's the word he wants me to use. He wants you to be asking yourself some questions during this time. He says, are you really using this time sacredly? Do you recognize how precious this time is? How unique, how exciting this opportunity is for humanity, because this is the first time that humanity has been on this new endeavor, which embarks upon such a great shift that is beyond the color of your own mind, beyond the color of what you know about yourselves. Much like, going back to the analogy that he gave us of that beautiful, the loom of consciousness and the sweater with all the different multicolored fabrics that we've never seen before, because our mind can't recognize something that's not human. So we're talking about a cosmic consciousness, not a great bearded man sitting on a cloud somewhere, he states. He's given me that vision many times, that we think God is a great bearded man sitting on a cloud. He said, so you'll ask yourself so many questions about, well, who created that and who created that, until your attachment to time literally breaks. You won't have that same attachment to need to know what came before something else and what will come after. Because in the true nature of the shift that we're going through, he states, we do need to begin to comprehend, not from our minds, but to drop deep into the soul, not the heart, because you confuse the heart with the emotions, he said, and this is deeper than that. It's great when the emotions align with that, he states. However, you're dropping into the consciousness of the soul together. You're doing your work individually and collectively and growing at the soul level. as a human species. So he wants you to ask yourself, do you understand that? Do you know how precious time is, and that simultaneously you have to release your attachment to it? Do you know how you function? Do you know your own power, and do you know where it comes from? Consciously, do you know that? Are you aware of it? He states that the most significant challenge of our time right now is recognizing and truly understanding that all roads on the walk of life, all roads of your life will lead right back to your soul, right back to your soul, right back to your soul all the time. This is the transformation that we're in. He says, watch others around you. Watch how they heal. Watch how they come about their transformations and their information about consciousness and about spirit. Watch people who struggle to heal and notice that when they don't, there's a certain fundamental consciousness that is updating within them that they refuse to accept because of their own reasons and anchors and blocks, he states. However, as he says, as I watch you heal and struggle to heal right now, I'm holding the greatest intention and desire and faith that you will discover how powerful you are together, how powerful you are, and where that power is, that you are now creators of this new consciousness that you are ushering in together as a species. And you are that engine that is transforming the entire world around you more quickly and powerfully than you can even keep up with. So you'll feel like he's giving me this image of running and running and running and running, and still I can't like get to where I need to go. But then I look, and there was everywhere that I wanted to go was right where I was the whole time. Right? And you'll feel like you're chasing your tail when you do that, or that you're running in circles. And then you stop, exhaust yourself, collapse on the ground, and drop into your soul. And you realize you can't do it by moving the body. You can't do it by becoming more multisensory. You can't do it by honoring a technology that is outside of yourself. This is about remembering the divinity and power in your soul, and then working together with other humans, not isolating yourselves, working together as a family on this great planet, because this planet needs you. The planet is going through its own shifts, and we're going to be talking about the rest of the astrological shifts, the world updates, how it's affecting political systems, how it's affecting religious systems, what's crumbling and what's starting anew, and why. All of that, we're going to be talking about what the shift, what this great shift means for natural events. And then we're going to be talking about how we at our innate nature are changing and what that means. There's, how do I explain what he's saying to you now? He says he wants you to understand down to the microcosm, from the macro to the very microcosm, as a unique human being, as a fractal divinity. He wants you to understand the power that you hold right now, the power that you've been wasting when you say, I can't do this, or I don't know how, or I need a ego roadmap of this and then do this and then do that, or I need money first, or I need time off from work first. There's no more time for that, he says. There's just no more time for that degree of lack of observation and of inertia. We've just been kind of in this inertia, and all we have to do is stop running in place as if we're getting somewhere, because where we want to go is right where we are. He says, so stop running in place. You are not hamsters on wheels. He said, so this is the journey you're currently going through in the great shift, and this is the journey of becoming conscious, and you cannot ignore your soul. He says, as you become more conscious individually and collectively, You are recognizing that you're living in a journey with others at all times, and that you are co-creating no matter where you are. All of life is happening together. All of life is breathing together. All of life is moving together. It's like a domino effect until you realize that without time, all those dominoes just fell all at the same time anyway, and they can't lift each other up without one pushing the other up and the other pushing the other up, and then you go backwards, right? So we need each other right now, and people are still isolating and pretending that their one little choice, that one domino, won't knock the rest down. Every choice that you make is so powerful and matters so much right now, he says. So the truth in a modern era that you are in is something that you need to absorb as we head into the great shift. And that truth of consciousness is more than what your human mind can comprehend when you say freedom. But freedom is a word that he's using. Equality is a word that he's using. Equality means you can no longer be afraid of someone else having the same amount or more power than you. Because with that fear consciousness, we can't move forward together. We have to have more than 50% of people out of fear consciousness this year, or nature is going to duplicate that fear consciousness. We'll talk about that in the channeling coming up as well, and how that's shifting and how we're just kind of just on the precipice of that happening and still somehow barely managing to avoid nature, Mother Nature, just cycling us out of it with a big old wipeout in some areas, right? They've been more like little wipeouts instead, and they've been recoverable, but that could get worse. It could. Hopefully it won't. He has great faith that we're on the precipice and we could go either way. And he tends to believe that we will lean more towards avoiding these massive nature wipeouts, right? And still have little recoverable ones instead. So there's a lot that he wants to talk to you coming up on the channeling on Monday at August the 22nd at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Again, that's a replay that will be available for everyone who can't make it permanently, not downloadable, but replayable. They're on my Patreon site. But he wants you to understand that every system is changing. Your system of law, your systems of religion and politics, your systems of how you know as order of chaos, he says, what you know of order and chaos. And he said that there is a more cosmic law at play in 2023. But that shift is happening slowly right now, and you'll feel it right now. And humanity is just really edgy and kind of, how can we explain that? He says, nature itself, from Mother Nature, is governing this new law, and then our nature, as we are growing collectively, our collective and individual natures are becoming more sacred. He says that the unusual way that everything in life gave us conditions and ordinations and initiations from man, or from systems governed by man, that is shifting to systems governed by a cosmic consciousness. So what you know of God is shifting outside of anything that you could possibly even see or understand, right? So we're in this age of energy. He calls this the age of consciousness and the age of energy. He says, so we now need to know that our energetic nature, you know, and what you think of as a spiritual awakening, that shifts too, because over the past 10 to 20 years, you used to think that a spiritual awakening entailed just becoming more multisensory. Yet the more multisensory you became, the less conscious and aware you became. And you tried to apply that towards systems of money and power and control in the human facet. And then that got out of hand. So even it's even breaking down in our spiritual systems and in our spiritual communities as well. And that power is rebalancing, because people need to depend upon each other. All teachers, healers, and channels need to depend upon each other more right now. So this new age has changed the rules of life on your planet. It says the world has changed since this influence of this new energy era, and the nature of God and how we relate to it is changing. One of the realizations that is awakening within us is that we have different sacred contracts, right? So there's so much going on. I got to go now and tend to my family, but please don't miss this channeling, because it's for every single person. No one can no longer say that they want to ignore this shift, because it's affecting every single person. I really hope to see you there on August the 22nd at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. I've got the link posted up above. Okay. I'll see you really, really, really soon. I love you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Happy Lionsgate and happy super full moon coming up. Don't forget to release everything. It's the last full moon of the year, guys. Very powerful. You don't want to carry your problems with you into this new era. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.